Welcome and thank you for joining us for our second half hour of The Factor Uncensored. Now, you've likely heard of postpartum depression in mothers, but did you know dads can also struggle with it? In their case, it's called paternal postnatal depression. According to the UT Southwestern Medical Center, 1 in 10 men experience this. Some of the symptoms: violent behavior, low motivation, and working a lot more or less. And of course, I recently saw 2 other reports indicating substance abuse. Joining us to talk about it, parents Demetrius Walker, Jay Bradley, and therapist Sadia Turney. Glad to have you here on The Factor Uncensored. Sadia, why don't people consider or think about men when it comes to postpartum depression?
Well, we all know when a woman is pregnant, it's all about the pregnant mom, and then it's all about the baby.
And we see her do the work.
Absolutely. And she does do a lot of work, right? Carrying the baby's hard, delivering a baby's hard, caring for, being the primary caregiver after a baby's born is hard. But we forget that men are also impacted by the transition. Having a baby in the home completely creates a whole different dynamic between you and your partner, between how you work, how you sleep, and that starts to impact your overall mental wellness, especially when men don't have, right, it's not socially acceptable for men to say, I'm struggling or I have postpartum depression.
Like, get your bitch ass out of here. You are not suffering from anything.
So they stuff it, right? They stuff it and they avoid, and then it leads to the anger and the irritability and the loss of interest in things, not wanting to work, just being really unmotivated, and then they're not the support system that the mother needs and their new baby needs because they're stuck in just trying to figure out stuff alone.
And this mainly happens with new fathers for the first time.
Yes, and that's because, like I said, it's a huge transition. When you go from just being able to take care of yourself and having your partner to having a baby in the home, it's a whole life overhaul that you need to talk through. Women are talking to other moms, they're asking questions, they're getting support. There's all types of groups that mothers are going to prepare for that. And dads maybe read a book, possibly, but that doesn't even happen, and they don't have a chance to talk to other men to prepare for what that transition is going to look like, so it can hit them really hard.
And Saudi, I read an article where a father said the midwife finally asked him, are you okay? And he said that meant the world to him. Because you tend to forget about the men. Demetrius, let's bring you into this conversation. Your thoughts about this, and is it possible, do you think, from your perspective, for men to go above and beyond?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I read all the books before my son was born, and nothing can prepare you for fatherhood. Nothing can prepare you for all the crying that you're about to hear. You're going to hear more crying than you ever heard in your entire life. And I can remember being on I-10 coming from Katy trying to get to work, and I had my son in the car, and he was inconsolable, would not stop crying. I mean, I stopped the car at a gas station, got out, checked to see if he was hungry. He wasn't hungry, didn't want his pacifier, he wasn't wet, and I could not figure out why he would not stop crying. And I had to sit in traffic for 45 minutes with this baby crying to the top of his lungs, and I started to go mad. I started to go crazy, and I realized in that moment that some people might snap. You know, when you have a baby who just won't stop crying.
Is that a form of helplessness that you're not used to, because we come up with solutions to deal with problems?
Most definitely. I felt completely helpless. I was agitated because there's nothing that I could do was providing a solution to my son and to get him to stop crying. And I could see how some people without patience might not be able to deal with that.
Jay, let's talk to you about your kids and your experience.
Well, first of all, I bought noise-canceling headphones and kept them in the car. And then that way, I never had that problem. All of a sudden, you just turn the volume up, and it's just like, wow, it's peaceful. No, I'm just playing with you. No, I had a great dad, man. My parents gave me a heads up. My dad sat me down, and I talked to him about fatherhood, and he gave me the real deal. You know, I was like, man, Dad, this is hard. And his answer was, it's going to get harder. right? There was just no fluff about it. And so for me, I felt like that helped me, and it gave me a good insight to the things that were gonna come. And then I could always go back and ask him questions like, man, Dad, when he was like, oh yeah, you did that, and da 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 da. And it made me feel like I wasn't a man on the island, right? That there's other people. I think the problem with men is that we don't reach out, we don't talk to other men. Women will have groups, they'll have, you know, if they have an issue, by the time they get to the car, they're gonna have a group chat with 2 or 3 different group chats. And men, we're just suffering in silence, right?
Yeah.
And then what do? We go to substance abuse, we deal with anger issues and all the above. I remember with my daughter, my first child, like you were saying, I literally went to the doctor. I thought I was about to have a heart attack. And he was like, man, what's going on with in your life? And I told him everything that was going on. I just started a new company and this and that. He was like, oh, yeah, okay, it's a stress thing, right? And then it was just, okay, all right, well, how do we deal with stress and go from there? So I think we just need to reach out, and men need to communicate, talk to other men, and have a safe space that we can communicate in and hopefully do better.
And talk to other men who are fathers that they want to be, like to make sure that you're turning towards resources.
Like you did with
that can
your
really
father.
support you.
Yeah.
You just did Sadia's job. Don't be taking her job.
It was a layup. I mean, it was an alley-oop. You know what I mean? She dunked it. That's all that matters.
Thank you all for joining us here on The Factor. Still ahead.